Okay, Planning Board meeting, January 17th, 2013. Well, this is our first meeting of the new year, because the first meeting, we were not here. So welcome, everybody, for 2013 already. And members of the board. First thing we have is discussion. Mr. McLaughlin. Step up, state your name for the record. Let's start the year off right. Hopefully you brought a check.
Good evening. My name is Keith McLaughlin. I represent Brian McLaughlin, the owner of 20 lots located in Raynham, Whipple Woods subdivision.
Very good. And you are here for?
I'm here. I received a letter asking about an extension of work in Phase 5 on Whipple Woods. We purchased a subdivision through a corporation owned by Norwood Bank, who foreclosed on the property in mid-construction. We've secured a line of credit with them and have 3 spec houses currently under construction in Phase 5 of that subdivision. I wasn't aware. We came into this, after lots of construction was done, and purchased the pre-existing conditions. So, we're also learning the process as we go through here. So Phase 5 is, partially done by someone else, and we're going to finish it. Phase 6 is something that we completely understand. It's our responsibility from day one, and the paperwork will flow much smoother, I think, through Phase 6. So it seems like there's we've been asked for a request for an extension for the completion of Phase 5, so I'm here to represent the developer, my father, and ask for that extension. Also, I'm here to address a concern about a shortage in funding for the bonding for the lots that are released. I'm a little curious as to, I guess there was a tripartite agreement that was posted with the town, with Norwood Bank, the former developer Mike and Tasha, with you folks for 220, and today's estimate's 374. So I'd like to learn how that changed a little bit, if I could, and we plan on learning how that changed and addressing it with the town.
I think the biggest price increase is the fact that the amount of years it's been since the subdivision was started and when all of the estimates were given. You can refresh my memory. How far, when was the plan originally approved?
Well, I'm sure that, I don't have it in front of me. I'm sure it was 10 years ago, I'm sure, but.
Well, the agreement we have is July 24th, 2006.
That's probably round binder went on.
So that was the performance security lenders agreement that Mark signed. And what we did is we sent out our engineer, probably 8 months ago, 9 months ago, to all of our unfinished subdivisions to figure out a new adjusted costs. What's it gonna cost to finish these subdivisions? And what we don't want to happen to the town is all of a sudden we keep giving extensions on completions of subdivisions, but we're not getting any increase in security. You do have 2 years to get the roads completed. It's already been over 6 years. And we're just looking for protection, so the town of Raynham, if something happens, we're not 3 more years out and the town has to go in and take a bond that is insufficient to finish the roads. Then the taxpayers of Raynham have to cough up the rest of the money. So basically, that's how the fee amount was increased.
So under the circumstances, can we request to increase the amount to the actual estimate of $288,300, $311?
Is that without the contingency?
Correct.
Yeah. How many lots are not built on?
So what's it, 6?
I've heard, yeah, 6.
6 on that one section, and the the section that, there's one section that has all utilities in when McLaughlin's bought it, and that's, I think, 12 lots.
Now, this is phase 5.
Yeah, phase 5, but phase 6 was all utilities, or nothing's released through phase 6. It's not a binder, and the rest of it's, I think there was 6 lots left of what was all released to the
Well,
bank.
What we spoke about at our last meeting was possibly taking lots. Most lots have been released, but if we were, and I'm not talking your specific case subdivision, but we did have Form J's, all the lots are released because the dry powers we received. But if we were to hold and have them release those lots back to the town,
Maybe put them back under covenant?
put them back under covenant instead of, asking people for more money, just so we have a little more oversight on the subdivisions, and it's just not,
These
one
lots
out
are
in left
already
field.
released.
Would you,
So our intent is actually not even to ask that. Our intent, we're under the mindset that the 6 lots have been released. You have protections, no, maybe it's not adequate. You have protection in place. We have, like I said, of the 6 lots, 3 of them are currently under construction. So our plan is well, what I'm asking for is, can we give you the check for the balance, the shortfall to the 288? And our intention is to, market and sell those lots, complete phase 5. And then we're gonna have to go in and build the infrastructure in phase 6. And obviously, those next 12 lots are open to a completely new analysis and a
Exactly,
completely new
right,
deposit.
right.
So
I know.
so
I
from
want to
the-
retain control of the 6 lots if I can, and I want to increase the balance to
Okay,
the
so from-
288. is
So
what I'd
from
like to
that
do.
amount to go to the 288, you're gonna have a separate, is that gonna be a separate check?
You
Yeah.
want to forget the tripartite agreement and just do it?
No, I would leave the
No,
tripartite
keeping that-
agreement in place,
keeping
and I
it
would
in
probably
place.
write you a check for the balance.
How much
Okay.
is the tripod for?
219,985.
I mean, I
So
think that's a
talking about
reasonable, I think that's
60,000.
reasonable. I think it's real reasonable, because I don't think we have really enough clout to make you give us more anyway.
Yeah, no,
We'd be hard pressed to-
from our perspective, we've completed the documents with Norwood Bank. We've kind of, there's things that are in line with them, and so, we're kind of plugging away. We've had good activity. One of the houses is 90% completed, open house last weekend, and some couples come through, so I think, we're in a position where, writing a check for 60 grand is not an issue, and we'll keep moving forward with the houses. We're excited about the subdivision, so.
All right, so let's,
60 the correct amount?
no.
I mean, in change, I'm rounding.
Yeah, whatever the difference. Now, you're looking at Judith Nitch's letter, or his estimate. I don't have,
It's in our packet.
Dated April 18, 2012. Remaining value remaining work, 288,311.
Yeah, we have 219, is that correct?
yeah. All right, well, let's take a vote of the board. He's willing to put up the difference from what the security is now to what is estimated at 288,311 without the 30% contingency. Russ? You okay with that? Burke?
I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
Is there any issue with the lender's agreement that we are relying on still with the change in ownership?
Again, with this specific, not sure with this specific. I know in the past, all of the other ones that we have checked into when Marilyn was here, it did not, it ran with the land, and as long as the fee was paid. And from what we were told, that they don't expire.
Well, with Carriage, same with Carriage Hill, where Russ Grabo became Norwood Bank for the second part of the third party in this case. it's gonna become the McLaughlins and Norwood Bank.
Right.
Well, I agree. It's not second, but I just want to make sure we all agree.
Well, and that's what, you know, town council told us
Okay.
on, you know, other ones, so I'm assuming this is the same.
And I don't have a problem with it.
Henry,
I'm all set.
Chris?
I'm good.
So, it's, and I'm all set with it also, so unanimous. It's, Yep, that was a vote, unanimous, that he can pay the difference between what we have.
$288, $311.
Yeah, he's gonna write a check for increasing the security.
It's just gonna be a.
And then as springtime comes and, you know, things start getting completed, you're more than willing to come back in front of us for even a reduction.
Okay.
And we can work off of that reduction, work off the check that you give us instead of, obviously, we're not gonna.
Yeah, that's what we would do, and even if it's street trees and landscaping, there's things we can do
Right.
that will improve the neighborhood.
So we appreciate you coming in and doing
Okay.
that.
Just a couple questions, as far as the extension to complete the work, is that, what's the formal process for that? Is that
Well,
2
I
years,
think
for a
we
year,
can-
or 2 years, what's?
We can vote on that now too, so everything's taken care of. On phase 5, we're not talking about phase 6, so you want to do a 2-year extension. I know on the last one, we had Roger go out and see if there was any issues with the road. If there's, before we did do an extension, just to make sure that there's no potholes or manholes that are sinking in or what have you. How do you feel about, should we do this, do the
It's all
same?
covered in their estimate, probably. Judith Nitsch just went out there, right?
Oh,
no, that's
that
April
was a while-
2012.
That was a
All right,
while ago.
okay.
Yeah, I think they should go and look.
Just have the highway department go by and take a look at it, just to make sure that there's no obvious problems with it. And then what we'll do is, once we receive the letter from highway department, Maureen will forward a copy to you, and we will give you a 2-year extension.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually drove out there and drove through the whole place today. You know, we had some sewer issues a while back. Everything, punch list, I did everything got taken care of. You know, the bank was good on, you know, I mean, without question, everything got taken care of without having to bug anybody and make a call back. So they, you know, were good.
And again, I think
But
it's more
it
so
didn't
we
look
can-
in bad shape out there, to tell you
Yeah.
the truth, you know, for something that's been sitting that long.
We tried to address those issues when we were working towards the acceptance of the other roads. We were asking them, their engineering company, to look at, on our behalf, as we're purchasing this. So there shouldn't be any issues, so it should be a
Okay.
simple,
Well, just so
there
we
could be
stay-
something, but it
Right, just
shouldn't
so
be
we stay
much.
consistent with what we've been doing in the
Okay.
past.
And then, just for my own benefit, I know that there was some monies paid in, obviously, there's existing homes that were sold prior to our taking control of these 6 lots, and the roadway's been in place. Does the town plow that road right now? There are funds that were given to the town in fees? We haven't had a lot of big snowstorms. My guy's been down there, you know, working also.
Maureen,
I'm
do
just
we
trying to
have- Do we have
learn.
money in the plow account?
We should, I can't tell you the amount right now.
Can-
Can you break this down?
Well, all the fees have been paid, so it's not an issue of fees. It's an issue of.
Was it not
I'm
plowed?
asking the question, is the town,
Well,
I'm telling my guy to be down there and pay attention and help out.
okay.
But I don't know the answer. I wanted to be on the front side of
We will,
it.
when the letter that Maureen is gonna forward to the highway department, she will make sure that she asks and finds out for sure that highway department is plowing. That
And I
we
think
do
if the-
We do have money in the plow account to maintain that.
And if the funds aren't used,
It comes back.
it
Yeah,
comes
you-
back.
You get them back.
I mean, if you wanted to plow what's still private, you'd have to let the highway know you're doing it, otherwise he's just gonna
Right.
go plow.
So those are my questions, where I could have a discussion and say, hey, do we want to do it ourselves and talk to the highway department? Do we want to let them do it? I'm trying to learn as to which
Believe me,
direction.
if you go talk to Roger and tell him that, you know, it's your property, you do have money in a plow account, snow plow account, just in case, you know, developer takes off, that you don't want him to do it, that's up to you. The money's,
Okay.
we don't keep the money.
I was really just wondering if it's on
And
his
believe
list to
me,
do.
it's
That's,
probably
I
twice
guess.
as much going through the town than
It
it
may
is.
be on his list, because I know they did all the roads in there last year.
Okay,
If you wanna do the private sections, you'd have to coordinate it with him, otherwise he's just gonna go out there, and if it's not plowed, and he doesn't hear from you that you're gonna plow it, he'll just plow it and send us a bill, and it will come out of that account.
Maureen,
Prefer
just
not
out
to,
of-
on a private road like that.
Right.
You know, he'd rather stay away from it.
but that one there, it's, there's so many people that have been living there for years that, I'm not trying to change anything, I'm trying to understand things.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah. No, that's up to you. You talk to him.
Okay.
We would rather not go in and,
Okay.
there could be manholes raised or, catch basins up and they would rather not, highway department would rather not go into a private development.
Okay, I mean, and again, if they're doing it, I'll leave it alone, I just was wondering how it worked. I can't think of any other issues I had, I mean, I think we're doing good down there.
Good. Well, we're glad that you have taken it over and moving forward with it. And again, these are just standard practices that we've done with everybody, as, it's not specific to any one subdivision. We're just reviewing, we reviewed all the subdivisions that we had open. And just, unfortunately, or I guess I should say fortunately, we've only had a few
Yeah,
that went bad. We're just making sure that we don't get, we don't get caught on if a few more go bad.
right. So for phase 6, it sounds like that a combination of not releasing a couple lots and maybe posting a smaller bond could be in discussion at that point. Because I've done that with other towns.
I think we are possibly in more favor going in that direction going forward. And again, it is, if something does happen, then banks don't have, what are they gonna sell if they're at an auction? Instead of selling everything that's been released, there are, if we hold, we don't release lots, then obviously they can't be sold. They're not gonna be built on. So I think, we may look at things a little differently in the futures, and that is one of them.
Okay, good. We'll think about that.
All right?
All right, thank you very much.
Good.
Have a great
Thank
night.
you. Thanks for coming in. Okay, Berry Hill. Amend special permit. Please step right up, state your name for the record.
William Rosa, Win and Win, 90 New State Highway, Raynham, Mass.
And we have two.
We had a certificate of action and then also a special permit that was issued in connection with this subdivision.
Okay, so the special permit was for,
The over 55 component.
correct, and that was approved at the town meeting to allow one.
We basically expand the definition of what an over 55 household would be.
Right.
And when this was, I think it probably follows in sequence that this would come under the new ordinance anyway, but in order to clarify that, we had asked for an amendment to just say that going forward, that new ordinance will be in effect as to these new households that are going to move into there.
Exactly. Now, did we get confirmation that
We did, it was approved.
it was out, it
Yeah,
was
we
approved
got
from
it,
the state?
well, about a week after the meeting. I think we were here last time before it came in.
Okay. Well, we discussed it last time. We don't have, as a board, we don't have a problem with it. So, I don't know if we have to take a vote on it. We just probably, we can.
Just a quick question, is this gonna get retyped and signed by me?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, it says, the Raynham Planning Board with blank present, gives me one line, I was gonna send back to you saying we can't all fit on that, but I don't know if you wanted to just retype it, it's gonna be
I'll put it
recorded.
on our letterhead.
What I
Okay,
can do, Maureen, if you'd like, I can electronically send it to you. You had asked us last time to do a proposed findings. So we
okay,
did these. I can send them, Maureen, in a
just
format that
include-
she can modify and expand that space if she needs it to put in the names and the dates and all those things.
unless you wanna just type them in, if you can.
Well, that's what I mean. She can do it that
Well,
way.
I have it already.
She's
You have it
gonna-
already?
She's
Okay.
gonna put it on the town.
And then she'll put it on town letterhead,
Yeah,
right?
on the town letterhead,
Okay.
that way there, and then she'll have your Yeah,
It's to be
place-
neater than writing them all
Right,
in.
she'll have your spot for signature, and you don't have to come back. Soon as you, Maureen, you can do that. Chris can come in and sign it, and then she'll forward you a copy of that,
Perfect.
and then that one will be done.
We voted on that or not, we could have voted on it.
Yeah, we voted on last time, or time
I-
before?
Yeah, I think we did vote on it.
I think we did too.
Did we? No? Well, let's take a vote anyway, just in case that,
Yeah, we didn't vote on it, just the old minutes. It says we agreed on everything, and Attorney Rosa would prepare a draft to the amended special permit for the board to consider at the next meeting.
so all in favor of having the special permit changed to allow the, what was adopted or what was approved at the town meeting? I don't want to get into specifics because I don't know exactly what it said at the town meeting.
Basically, all it says is the changes that were done at the last town meeting. This development was approved prior to those changes. Those changes are now incorporated into the previous certificate of action for the Berry Hill.
So with that said, all in favor? Aye.
Second and in favor, yes. Seconded.
Okay, so on the next item, we had that the completion of subdivision in accordance with the approved plan shall be allowed to continue, and that the certificate of action shall remain in full force and effect. And the applicant was concerned of the timeframe. So that's that one. And number two, that the new owners shall be allowed to create a covenant consistent of 6 lots for the completion of the roadways, roads and ways, which lots may be substituted at the owner's discretion, subject to board approval as sales proceed. We spoke about that. Burke wasn't here, and I told Burke earlier what we had talked about, and we didn't have a problem with that. Did you come up with what lots that you
I
were?
think we were gonna, if the 6 was the number, we hadn't even approached that, and then we'll have George and
Okay.
we can come down and we can square that away, but
Okay, so, and number 3, that in all other respects, the permit remains in full force and effect, and the applicant is presently in compliance with the provisions of said permit. Again, I'm not really sure that it's in form of a vote, but everything that this letter says is true and accurate. We as a board agree, and it's up to you. You know, I think Henry mentioned last time about the lots, you know, just try to pick 6 lots. You can come in at any time and swap over, just, you know, so we're not going back and forth all the time. Just try to give it some thought and how, you know, how you plan on proceeding with the subdivision. And, you know, we don't have a problem with that.
Did we have no time limit on it? Well,
Yeah,
it's a
I was
special
gonna ask
permit,
about
it's
it.
a
Didn't
special
we-
permit, so it's not a subdivision, so it's just,
Yeah.
we approved it.
Do
Right.
they need an
It's still in
extension of
effect.
time or anything on this?
The,
For
we
construction?
read in the special permit, it doesn't run out, and, so they're still in compliance as of now. I think this is just basically formally putting it in writing, so they're, you know, not putting their necks out there without having an official,
In effect,
Meeting.
this says that we agree that the special permit has been acted upon.
Right.
And substantial work has been done, and that's more what you were asking for. That's all.
exactly, just
What
to
the
clarify,
point
because there was some language in there that was ambiguous as
Yeah.
to whether or not there was a timeline, and rather
Yeah.
than,
so,
Well, before we leave the subject, you know, this was approved in 2004. In December of 2004, we gave them 4 years to complete it, which ran out in 2008, December of 2008. The state then gave you how much more time?
2 years.
Which brings you to 2010 for construction. You may want to ask us for an extension.
Well, the only thing is, though, we read, is that the special permit, Maureen?
No, that's a certificate of action, just for the general approval.
Because we already went through, we already read what special permit for that subdivision says. And being a special permit in a private,
Don't leave it up to their council. If you want to do something, we can act on it when we get it.
Okay, yeah, all right, let me take another look. I think the point of this was to address that kind of, just to, you're putting your stamp on saying the permit is in full force and effect.
right.
Okay, because what the other one spoke of was the streets and roads being completed within that particular time frame, and they are substantially
Well,
completed,
why
but
don't we
they're
do
not
this?
finished.
Maureen, you're doing a letter on town letterhead for the first item. Why don't we do another one that states exactly what is said in here? And that is approved by the planning board, today's date, and Chris can sign when he signs the other one. And now, do you have any problems with that? And that way there?
Something other than what's already in these documents?
No, you're gonna have you'll have two, these are two different things. One's for the
Yep.
special permit, and then one is for item 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
So you have two separate town letters, and it addressed two different things, and then Chris will sign both of them with the approval of the planning board. And now they have something with a signature, it's on town letterhead, no questions, they move on, and,
Yeah, that was our intention, though.
2 years down the road,
We have something
they
on
don't-
record that we could put on record
Yeah.
if we needed to
All right.
to clarify
Okay.
that.
and then that way there, everybody's protected.
Okay.
Everybody in favor of that? Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, anything else?
No, you have one-
Yes, sir. State your name for the record, please.
George Turner. I just have a question relative to the existing roads and utilities that are installed currently, that there are no issues that are pending with, I'm not gonna have to rip up asphalt, or there's no problem that you have with what's been installed to date.
What I suggest that you do is you get in touch, Maureen, maybe you can get him the information for Judith Nitsch. And do you have our town engineers, any updates of the most recent update for inspections?
There was a road cost issue for purposes of the bond.
I mean, right now, George, the bond thing is gonna go away, is what I'm assuming.
Yes.
And be replaced by the covenant.
Right.
You know, and so the lots, I'm sure, won't get released unless the roads are done in compliance. We're gonna have a guy out there reviewing, so if the roads aren't done to our satisfaction, then the lots won't get released.
Well, I think what he's asking, though, is if he starts tomorrow, from today past, is everything okay?
Oh.
Not from tomorrow on.
Right.
Because from tomorrow on, that would
Oh.
be.
Right.
So I suggest that you go to, you call Judith Nitsch, you have a meeting with the town engineer, just make sure, Maureen, that he notifies our
So I know
office,
that you're gonna contact me.
and that you would like to just, have a face-to-face out there. It's coming out of, the project's fee for inspections. But I think it's a wise thing to do because everything's up current. Also, in that, Maureen, is ask him to make copies of every inspection that he's done to give to you so you have. So you can go back 3 years from now, and you can look, and you can go through every single inspection that he made, and then you can see yourself if something was corrected or it wasn't corrected. And that way, when you get to the end, because he's gonna look at it and say, well, in 2008 or 2010, this was done. Well, so I can't answer that. We can't say, yes, everything's fine. I think we can point you in the right direction to get the answer for yourself, to make sure that everything is fine. And by doing that, with the town engineer, I think that'll be your best.
So we should contact John Schmidt?
Yeah, it's Judith Nitsch Engineering. At this point, they're the town's engineer.
You have their contact information?
Yeah, I have.
And Maureen will let him know tomorrow, email him, and just CC me so he makes sure that correspondence will come back. And again, we don't have anything, you know, that's in front of us today that we are claiming is wrong. You know, it's not something, it's been in limbo for quite some time, and, you know, nobody's been asking or requesting that type of stuff. We've been working on the legal side of it, you know, more than anything. So,
Understood, I just don't want to get into it.
Right.
I don't know that.
no, and please, you know, again, you know, and we don't want to either. We don't want you to give us 6 lots, and then at the end, you know, we say, well, you know, you missed this, fixing this catch basin or something, and you didn't know it, and we're gonna get into an argument, and it's not what we're looking for. Due diligence up to today is your responsibility, and, you know, from there on out, or I guess, you know, when you sign over with the bank or whatever. But as we're not aware of anything that was wrong to this point. The other, and let me take that one step further, I do know that the sewer department took over that pumping station. No, you didn't take it over? Well, you've been maintaining it. The sewer-
Marioni deeded it to the town without the town even knowing.
No, right. But that's
That's a
what,
trick.
but that's what I'm saying, but.
No, we've been maintaining it, and we're actually meeting tomorrow morning.
Oh, you are,
You
okay.
guys are
So,
gonna do
I was
it
gonna
tomorrow,
say,
so we
even
got-
with that, because I know
we're
there
gonna
was
go
some
through.
issues there, that, you know, it was deeded over without sewer department knowing.
Yeah.
But if you guys are having a meeting, then you're
Do you
already,
know who built that? Who built this pump station?
no idea.
Did the town build it?
No. There was, I know Wright Pierce was the designer of the pump station and the force main and all that.
Right.
I don't know, I know the lawyers have been calling me, and some of the inspection on the pump station, because it was a punch-out list, was given by Ty and Bond, which is who Raynham used.
Right.
So they must have been involved somehow.
They wouldn't know who constructed it.
No, but
I don't think
my,
so.
things were
I
busy
want
back
to-
then, but I bet you my
There has to
guys
be-
might know who built it.
there
I
has
don't
to be
know
a
if it was
permit.
built by a, you know, like some contractors build their own, some hire a guy that actually does it for a living. I don't think there's any major issues with the pump station itself. The only issue, in fact, we were talking about it today, and the pump station's sound. The only issue we're having is we're not achieving the flow rate, so there must be some sort of blockage, is what I'm thinking, from, in your force main, from where it discharges. Like, 2 weeks ago, we were getting 20 gallons a minute when we should be getting 110, 120. The other day, we're getting 60. Today, we're getting over 80. So I don't, something must be pushing its way out of there, so I don't,
I think
So
some of the-
that's-
I think some of the occupants of the subdivision have been away, and they're in Florida and whatnot. I think that's why your flow rates are down too. I don't think everyone's home.
that place is, the flow rates have been down since day one.
So,
because you don't have
for
any houses
planning
up
board,
on
the
line.
flow rates really, I'm just directing you into that direction, just so you can go deal with the, you can deal with the sewer department on
That's my
those.
wake-up call tomorrow. I mean, I get to
You can
go-
deal with the
go to
sewer
bed tonight,
department
see
on
it.
what's flowing and what's not flowing. But,
Talk about it tomorrow.
so I think that's all, you know, we're excited to have, you know, have you on board on getting that place completed, and, you know, we're willing to help in any way we can, within the special permit that we have, you know, had voted on. Just, you know, don't come back in 3 years and tell us that something wasn't done.
No, I understand.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right?
Thank you.
So, Maureen, can you, when you do get in touch with John, I would suggest that he have somebody make photocopies of everything that they have,
Okay. Notes and everything?
everything,
Okay.
and submit, and he can give it to them when they set up an appointment to meet.
Okay.
Save
And I
the
would
best for
ask,
last.
and I would ask that John get a signature of, I don't know, Brooke, how can you, hand a packet over and have it signed for?
Oh, just like sign the transmittal sheet that he's given it to them?
No, I know, I just want to make sure that, you know, they are, they,
All right.
Make sure they get it.
Oh, put the
Well-
package together, tell one to come in and sign for it.
You want me to have John send the stuff to me then, and then we can have John?
No, let them do it.
yeah, it's a
You have
private,
enough to
it's a,
do.
yeah, it's a private development, just tell them that we just want it signed for, we just want a signature that, here's a
Just
packet.
transmittal letter.
Yeah, here's a packet of all of the information from the past, and they're just gonna sign for it that they received it, that's all.
Okay.
And then it's something we can put in the file. And that way it will be something to look back on. Form A, Locust Street, Locust and King Street. Step right up.
I actually, just for the record, I abut this property. It's right Dallas Carey's old estate.
Okay. Well, you,
I don't know if it makes a difference on a Form A.
I don't, I don't, right,
Yeah,
so,
approval not required.
and if you bail out, then that means everybody has to sign it, and
I
not
don't
just,
have to look at it as it's.
and not just you, so. You were in front of us,
Back in October,
how far ago, for the same piece?
yeah, November 1st, to be exact.
All right,
Do we have the form to look at?
Yes.
We don't have.
Got it, got it, got it.
You have an MRC on this? The taxes owed on it?
So you were before us about 4 months ago.
Yes.
What did we do back then?
Yeah, back then, we, created these two lots right here,
Okay,
which I'm showing now as a button lot in the lots 23 and 24.
okay,
Okay, and basically, this was the original idea of the Form A plan, but they didn't have buyers and they didn't want to be paying taxes on the, that's basically the reason why.
okay.
So they sold, this lot right here, lot number 23. That's been sold.
Okay.
So they asked us to do the rest of the Form As.
can you, open this, just so we can give them a plan,
I said that.
and turn that around?
I just take it, put that before.
Henry, can you want, you all set with that?
So basically, the lot numbering that we have here is the lot numbering that is issued by the land court. However, what we are doing is, I've gone back to the land court, and they told me I can come down here. The assessors don't like the idea of waiting for land court. They want to start the assessment once you endorse it. So land court told me I can indeed do two plans, because they don't like seeing the topographic
Yeah, I remember
information.
you- I remember you
They don't
saying
like
that.
seeing the building blocks. So I get this done, so they know at least it's approved. And then once they sign off on their own version, then I'll bring it back here for your endorsement as well.
Okay, so you can do Form As and they can sell them even though it's in land court?
You gotta get land.
Oh, no.
No, it's land
Right,
courted
right.
property.
Right.
The property itself is land courted. The land court has to in effect, kind of release it for sale
Right.
from the certificate of title, but it's not.
So it doesn't have to
it's
go
not going
through- it doesn't-
court, it's just land courted property, so anytime you subdivide, you're gonna do a full perimeter, full traverse, full closure, all your calcs.
I thought once you were in the land court, you were in had it.
Each time you change a
Approved.
lot line, you have to go through the
Every
same
time-
process.
Every one of these deeds, when you prepare the deed, you have to go to land court to have them approve
Yeah.
that too.
Wow,
And
what a pain.
you'll get this plan back, because then the land court will redraw the plan on their own stuff.
Yeah, like you said, without having.
And you won't see it for another couple of years,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, we're about to get to that on Rogers Way.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
saw that
Yeah,
letter.
it's a nightmare.
It's actually worse because the courts, especially land court, it's just overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's only a couple of guys. I mean, I was lucky when I was doing this. I had a good friend up there, and you know, I'd get in 24 hours instead of, I mean, you make an appointment, how long does it take you to get an appointment?
Now you're running 3 months.
Yeah, if you're lucky, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
because
go
they're
talk to somebody.
downsizing the staffing too. They went from 21 people to 2. Started
Did you know Sean Laundry now?
Russ, any
He's no longer there.
questions?
Yeah, he retired.
Burke?
How did we arrive
Yeah,
at
that's-
$500 for a fee?
It's $200 for the application and the first 2 lots, and then $100 for each additional lot, reflect that.
So you're creating 5 additional lots?
Total of 5, that's correct.
No wetlands?
No,
The other 2 were just created on the previous plan.
that's why I purposely on lots 23 and 24, I'm not showing the lot area, because, and I'm not showing their dimensions, because they're just really
Yeah.
abutting lots now.
Is that a nice stone wall?
Yeah, that's about the only wall that's pretty much intact, but it's interior wall when they use
Yeah.
it with the farming.
Yeah, it couldn't be a lot line.
Right.
No, I don't have any questions.
Taxes aren't paid, we're doing anything about that?
Taxes are up to date. It's,
What about the betterment figure that's there?
it's
I don't understand.
betterment not yet due and payable.
Okay, so I was at
Yeah,
that.
that's basically the 20.
So it's in the middle, you know, it's in the middle of the 20-year period or whatever.
Form Ds is okay?
Yep.
Okay. Chris, you all set with it?
No, I'm good.
I'd like to,
I make a motion that we accept the plan, division plan of land in Raynham, Bristol County, North District, map 12, lot 214, formerly 996 King Street, owned by Top Hill Farms LLC, prepared by ET Engineering Enterprises, Inc., as a plan that does not require subdivision approval.
second it for discussion. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I'll abstain, seeing I don't think they vote.
That was,
Extension by Chris.
okay.
I'd love to buy the rest of it. Keep my privacy.
You want to sign?
Yeah, I'll sign.
Why don't
Give
you,
me my lot, that's my lot.
yeah.
17.
Already, huh? January 17th. Wow. While we're waiting for Chris to sign, I want to say, seeing my mother watches me every meeting, I want to say happy birthday. I'm not going to say how old she is, but
Is today her birthday?
she is. Yeah,
Happy birthday.
yeah,
Suck up.
yeah.
Okay, happy.
So,
You think that will embarrass her?
hey, my mother doesn't get embarrassed too easy.
She's got Dan, doesn't she? What do we need, 3?
Three for us.
You wanna take the sex form, Marzo?
Right, 13? Okay, just want to check.
Yeah. It took me about a week.
May I have my 3 copies of endorsed for me?
Yeah.
And you can roll those up the way you would like them. Those are signed already. He has 1 copy in there,
Okay.
1 paper copy. We have 3.
When did Tom retire?
Hmm?
When did Tom retire from land court?
Well, it's one of those that takes early retirement
Yeah.
deals.
Yeah, 'cause he's not that much older than me.
Yeah, but I think he's got 25 years.
I think he wants
Oh,
those.
he wants those. I'll take these.
Yeah, we got our 3 here.
Oh, you got
Yeah,
it?
he,
Yeah.
he commuted every day from Sagamore to Boston.
Doesn't he want the Mylar?
He already has it. He's all set, and these are our 3. Okay, is that all?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
And for our general business, we have endorsed 855 Broadway site plan.
Oh. This is just a copy, right? We don't.
I'm
That's the
sorry, what?
stamped copy.
Oh, that's just a copy, yes, nothing. That's for the town clerk.
Yeah, they brought this back in with the revisions, right?
Yes, you
Poles
said they were
together,
on
they
there.
did. Yeah, I see the poles relocated. They used to have it over here. Then
They
they got
changed
that.
the parking on the side of the building.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got rid of some parking spaces out back that were on the neighbor's land.
Yep.
Can I
Take
have-
care.
Good night.
So that's something, you have a pen, you guys start signing, we'll pass it down.
I thought we already were.
Does anybody remember what was said about the new business there and how many people would be there at one time?
Yep.
Six
Never-
people.
Never more than
Within an
5 or
hour.
6.
We just do the front page, right?
I'm like, it looks like a regular gym.
Yeah, I go by it every day. There's
Yeah, these aren't,
cars.
although, are these being recorded?
I didn't stop to count people though.
Dennis told me that there was a lot more already.
I'm kind of surprised. I had,
There was what?
my plaza that I
More
manage,
cars,
that
huh?
I'm in, I've had people come in who want to come in, and they want to do something that's going to require 30 or 40 parking spaces, and, well, you know, I don't want them. Everybody else will leave.
Right.
So this place was already full, so I can't, I don't know. People will buy their pizzas somewhere else.
I got a thing in the mail advertising that place, and it certainly looked like a regular gym.
Yeah.
That was the impression I got.
Do we just want to do the top sheet?
Copy of it.
Okay.
Just the first one.
Yep, this is front sheet.
Actually, the way that's done.
Nope, that's it. Okay, that's all set. Steeplechase security release. We had asked that Judith Nitsch to give us an update. This is dated January 3rd. And according to this update, the revised August 23rd, 2007 cost estimate indicated that the following items were observed. He lists 4 items, and at that time, the cost was $9,113. Site visit was done January 3rd to observe whether the erosion control fence was removed from the site. So what he is saying, if the board decides to hold back the estimate for 4 trees, then niche engineer recommends releasing $8,289. This goes back quite a few years, and everything is taken care of except a possible of 4 trees.
So I guess, do we hold back money for the trees, or give them back the full amount?
This thing has been so many years, those 4 trees might have been ran over, plowed on,
Well, he's saying
broken.
he didn't even observe any damage to them.
No, so
So-
I would, let's put this to bed, and all of the major, the major items were all taken care of. And this is back on 2007, and the items are still fine, so I would make a motion that we release the balance
I'll
and
second
For the 9,113.
put this one in the closet.
that. I'll second that.
Is that contingent upon all his bills being paid?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, that's in the motion.
That's
That's in the
automatic.
motion.
Motion was made.
Why don't we just say, okay, he has to pay him first?
Well, I think there's enough in the account, I'm just waiting for the bill to come in, so I just wanna hold off for
He
a
has
week.
to authorize you.
Yep. That was made and seconded for discussion. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. We have minutes for December 6th and December 20th.
I make a motion that we waive the reading and approve the minutes of December 6th, 2012, and December 20, 2012.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Correspondence, we have correspondence from Gay and Gay for Rogers Way Extension. We had asked that we get an answer, or Maureen sent a question to Gay and Gay about the portion that was supposed to be conservation land, and he sent this letter back stating that it's in land court, and it's gonna, another land court issue, so it is something that at least Attorney Gay is aware that we are, still waiting on that. So I'm sure he will have it in his files somewhere. Other than that, Maureen, anything else? First of the year?
I don't think so.
We can talk about my U.S. District Court that I was
I'm sorry, I was gonna ask, so Russ has nothing? Brick, do you have anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We made the Mass Lawyers Weekly of December 10th, that our subdivision/due process was dismissed from the U.S. District Court. I didn't understand the case, though. Michael et al. Versus Andrade et al.
Because he's first listed.
No, I got the Andrade part, but I didn't get the Michael part.
That's one of the names.
Okay. Usually use last names, not,
That was last name.
oh, one of the people was named Michael? Okay.
That's still just for our audience. These main issues are still left in Superior Court.
Oh, yes, for sure.
This
But-
is just a peripheral issue of suing us personally.
We didn't, well, they didn't find there was a federal due process clause of the 14th Amendment issue because the judge's conscience was not shocked.
So it remains in Superior Court.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Brett.
You're welcome.
Keep an eye on those things, that, we have people out there trying to falsely sue the members of the board. So that's good, I can sleep tonight. When we had to go to,
It wasn't more than a humdrum legal error.
when we had to go for court for Walmart, when I showed up, there must have been 40 files that said Walmart, Demoulas versus Andrade. I walked into the room and I'm like, you got to be, boom, 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 around this whole room that we were in, and it was a lot of paperwork. Anything else, Henry? You have anything, Chris?
No, all set.
Motion to adjourn.
Very good. Motion made, seconded, and we are adjourned.
Thank you, sir.